Hello and welcome to live conversation on Allatra TV. My name is Olga. My co-host today is Olga. Hi, Olga. And today our guest is Samia Qamar. And today, together with Samia, we will talk about the importance of implementation of the Project Creative Society. We will discuss the article, Foundations and Stages for Building the Creative Society. And Samia will share her vision of the world where all people are comfortable living in all spheres of life. And Samia is joining us from Pakistan, and she's a global HR director and strategic advisor to executives for talent management. Um, Hi, Samia. So great to see you today. Thank you so much for joining us, even though it's 4 a.m. there in Pakistan. Great to see you.
Thank you so much. It's been such a great prerogative to be here with both of you, Olgas. That's such a pleasant surprise for me.
Yes, please tell us a little bit more about yourself, what it is that you do.
Sure. So I have been located in Pakistan ever since my childhood, but with that, I definitely have an international experience. I'm having an experience of working for more than 14 years now within the field of human resources with multiple industries. Started off my career with healthcare organization, moved on to the management consultancy, then hospitality, and currently I'm working with financial data services in my current role where I continue to work as a trusted business partner. My purpose is to continue nurturing workplaces by guiding leaders and managers and to lead high impact teams, also by creating employee value proposition for the companies where I work by building a competitive advantage. I have driven a lot many cultural transformations and developed talent and leadership pipeline to deliver sustainable profits for the business. I have a lot of love for community building, for making sure that wherever we live, our society is a great place for others where we can add a lot of value. I'm also working as a global goodwill ambassador for Pakistan, and most recently um, what gives me a sense of accomplishment is that my name got inducted in the global list of female authors with other 99 women. And also I was awarded exceptional woman of excellence by Women Economic Forum when I traveled to Cairo, which was my last travel before pandemic. So that's all
Wow.
about me.
You're one busy lady. You are accomplishing so much and bringing people together. And we also have put together a collage of pictures, and we would like to bring them up on the screen. And once you see them, please comment on them so we can learn more about you.
It's a surprise, sure. Nice. I did not expect that.
Can you comment on some of them?
Sure, why not? Definitely. I would love to. I see it was a conference which was organized by University of Lahore, which is this Meet IC 2020, where I was guiding the younger talent, all the students, that what are the skill sets or what are the capabilities that will be meaningful after pandemic, which will be aligned to the future of work. Then I also see in the middle. Where there was a talk where all the professional HR professionals were there and they were sharing again something similar, that what has changed, how life has changed during pandemic. And the towards the extreme left, it's my message to people that what do we need to do to make sure that we have a life, what are sustainable development goals and what does it mean and how can we add value. And the picture above one is the one where we were trying to give back to the community where we worked. So myself with my team members, we had a high spirit, I still recall, and we were cleaning that area along with children who belong to a slum area. So these are all those activities. Thank you for helping me cherish all those lovely moments.
Thank you for sharing. That's great. And Samia, so today on the platform of Allatra International Public Movement, we have a project called Creative Society. And today, millions of people from all over the world are implementing this project. And we would like to ask you, how do you envision a creative society? How do you envision this world where you yourself, your family, and all the people in the world are comfortable living?
Well, I would say that I really loved the vision when I saw the goals, when I saw what you are doing. I truly believe that every human being on this earth has a right to have an equal access to all the resources, to have an access to equity, to have an access to freedom and independence. Um, to have an access where they are not judged, and the idea of building the future, or the idea of having a civilization where there is humanity, where there is peace, where there is love. I think this is great. And I really loved the way it was depicted, that while everybody continues to talk about human beings, they bring in their own agenda, but then at the same time, the agenda doesn't work for everyone, and it's not in favor of every human being, and it's very easily said. But some people really feel that they are privileged, so the privileged class, for them, as such, it does not matter. And the class that doesn't have the privilege, they don't even have their voice, or their access to the platform where they can even have something. So I think this project really touched my heart, that it is doing such a great thing, and even making that effort of reaching out to so many folks. I mean, I all I can say is that kudos to you all for doing this great job for other people and for humans.
Thank you so much. So, Samia, based on your experience in human resources, how important it is to put a human being at the center of it all?
Sure. I mean, do you want me to talk about my own personal experience, or do you want that what other HR professionals are doing to make a difference? I just want
I
to be
think
clear.
your personal experience and how you see what's really important when we do put some, human being in the middle.
Sure. So, working in human resources is immensely rewarding. It's all about making difference to lives of others. It's all about adding value to this world. And how? I mean, I'm definitely going to talk about it. With that, I'll begin my this sort of a message with Dave Ulrich. So, Dave Ulrich is the speaker. He's the author. He's the professor, and he is the management HR guru. For those of you who don't know that. And that's his quote, where he says that HR professionals are learners, at the same time they are enablers, and then they're also value creators. Now, how? I mean, they are learners because they tend to seek new ways of doing things and solving old problems in every organization. And then they are enablers because they are the ones who are making others better, making lives of others better. And then they are value creators because they continue to help all the stakeholders to win together. With that, I'll share that what happens is that every day, I mean, I myself, if I talk about my day, we are given a chance to create meaningful and long lasting relationships. um, we are given a chance to learn so many new things. We are given a chance to live our life with passion, by solving the complex problems that can impact lives of our customers, lives of our employees, lives of people who are adding value in the supply chain, lives of our shareholders, lives of our stakeholders, which in fact then touches the lives of millions of people who are associated with all of them. And not only that, I mean, one of the benefits that I feel that what I have in my role is to reach out to a range and a wide variety of HR leaders who are doing a great job, and at the same time to look at what the next generation practitioners are doing, and what is it that is required of them or for them, so that they can also sort of upskill them. So it's all about coaching people, coming through, seeing their passion and their ambition, and trying to marry that together. That's something which is truly inspirational for me. Also celebrating small victories of people when they get out of their struggles. Those moments are aha moments for them. providing that emotional support and creating a safe spot where people can have one-on-one conversation with me, where they can share their experiences of pain, their joy, their love. Employees do share all of that with courage. Again, it's something which is personally very, very fulfilling for me. So I feel every interaction is the new opportunity for me to learn something different from them based on the perspective that people have, and to get to see the world from their lens. So if I have to sum it up in terms of what I'm doing and how this project is sort of aligned, I'll say helping people find their sense of purpose, nurturing talent to assume bigger roles and fit themselves in the bigger agenda, acquiring the right talent for organizations that then impact their own personal lives, where it touches so many numerous households, which then ends poverty, advocating for um, gender diversity, where we should have the right representation of women in the workforce, and then having the right representation of women in the leadership positions, providing avenues to people for their personal development. And then last but not least, offering benefits of health and well-being, combating cognitive biases through arranging and organizing sensitivity trainings to reduce inequalities. And all of that, when I look at it holistically, goes back and is tied back to sustainable development goals, and also to the purpose and goal of the project that you are doing, which is the creative project. So creating a creative world, so creative society. So all of this, I think, is is contributing to the bigger agenda that we all are trying to sort of achieve by making this world a better place for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for drawing that parallel between HR and creative society and how that fits it. It's very great. And I know you had a chance to look at the article, Foundations and Stages for Building the Creative Society. And for our viewers, you can find that article on the website AllatraUnites. And there are 3 stages for building for the implementation, and they are informational, political, and the referendum. And in your opinion, how can we spread this information for the first stage, for the informational stage, so that people all over the world can hear about this project, and so that they can know that there is a way that we can build the future all together. We can live in a different world where we're all happy, where we all have all those things that you just mentioned, good medicine, healthcare. We can have high education for all. We can have safety. We can have true freedom. What would you say could be some steps that we can spread this information even more?
So first off, you guys are doing an amazing job. I mean, honestly, I was truly inspired how you are reaching out and making that difference. But obviously, there is always an opportunity. And when I look at that opportunity, I think every human being, or every professional for that matter, if not every human being, because perhaps that might be difficult. So those people who don't have an access to digital media or internet or laptop, etc., they might not be able to be reached out. However, all the professionals who are out there on the social media, I think it goes back to each one of us. So one message, if I have to give everyone, would be that while doing our full-time jobs is super important, and it definitely, we have to take care of our families, ourselves, our needs, our financial needs, etc., etc. But one thing, if we can do for making difference to others, is that we should invest at least either a couple of days, if possible, to invest our time and give back to the community. So when I talk about S&P Global, we have this benefit of we have this paid off for 5 days, where we encourage our employees to go back and give back to the community in whatever capacity they would like to. If they like to teach, then they can probably invest their time. If they want to do something for the community, they can go ahead. So I think this offering, if other companies they would want to offer that benefit, then that is also a possibility. But then it goes back to every professional to at least commit to doing something, because it's not just about us. While self orientation is always there, but the sense of gratitude that you get, or the sense of purpose and fulfillment that you get, that energy comes to us as human beings when we do something for others.
Thank you so much. That sums it up nicely. And also, how important it is for someone to realize that one person can really do so much. How important it is not to get set back in the mindset of, what can I do? I'm just this one little person. But in reality, what do you think one person can really do?
That's a great question. And this morning I was having a conversation with someone, and somebody asked me that, Samya, I was just having a casual conversation with a lady, and she asked me that, what is inspiring you at this age that, you are doing all of this. And my answer to her was that, to begin with, honestly, I'll be very honest, like, I did not think about it in the past. That wasn't me. Just like others, I would think about, what is it for me. But now what changed, there was a personal, there is a story. That's fine. I mean, I would not want to invest a lot of time over there, but there was a time, there was a moment when I asked myself that, what am I doing for others? And I had no answer, and I thought probably that's an opportunity for me. But I was sharing this similar story with her, that sometimes when I give some sort of an advice, or when I'm having a coaching session with an employee, and somebody comes back and tells me that, Samya, you know what, that changed my perspective about life, or I, with your advice, I was able to, think, and I thought, or I had altogether a different perspective about life. So I was cracking a joke that sometimes I go back and ask myself that, okay, this is so common, this is so simple, like, whether that's true or not. But then trust me, that really changed some of the lives, so, which I had never even imagined to begin with. Right? So every human being has that capacity. It's just that how we connect with human beings, that's something we need to think of or be mindful of. And obviously everybody can do something. It's just that sometimes we don't find out either time, or it's that we don't explore a lot, or maybe it's not our passion. But I'll still emphasize on that. The reason is that there are so many underprivileged people, and when you get to hear their stories, I mean, one, it gives us a lot of sense of gratitude, and two is that we definitely have a bigger role to play in the society. Just because we are privileged doesn't mean that others, don't have that right. It is upon us how best we can do, how best we can contribute, and how best we can make a difference to their lives. So I think everybody has got that capacity. It's just that we need to find more time. We need to 5 days, again, I'll just simply say 5 days in a year, that's not huge. That's very, very manageable, with the thought that, it's definitely going to make a difference to someone else's life.
Thank you very much. And I know before we started the live, you were talking about the importance of uniting on moral and spiritual values. Can you please share a little bit more about that?
I definitely can. At the same time, there are times when, so again, this goes back to like being an HR professional. So I'll share some of the things, what we can probably do in our capacity to change this world. If I believe that is something of value over here. All right. Okay. So there is a study, and according to a Deloitte study, 47% of millennials, they believe that the purpose of the business is either to improve the society or to protect the environment. um, that's the thought process of our millennials, which is like, according to that study, 47% of millennials, they reported it out. So bringing in our bright and young people who will, who will help businesses change, of course, that's great. That's something which human resources department can surely do. And one thing that, we should definitely ask is that, what can and what should the HR do in terms of driving that positive change in organizations? So I mean, help the company do good, that is there, but I'm not talking about employee engagement programs at this point in time. Or I'm not saying that people should go out and they should be either distributing maybe t-shirts or maybe painting a wall, because while these are great activities, what they really do is they build a lot of good teamwork, I'll say. So one thing that, if we have to make that bigger change, people need to think that how we can channel the talent as well as how we can channel resources within a company where it's impactful for the business and it's also helping the society at large. I'll give examples of two companies. I worked with Marriott International, and they have this program of Nurture Our World, where they believe that that communities should be better built. They should be operating where there should be better places to live, work, and visit. And to support that resiliency and sustainable development of these communities, they invest a lot. They invest in the vitality of children. They invest in natural resources, and they make sure that they deliver the aid and financial support, especially in times where there are challenging times for people. And also through volunteerism, fundraising, cash, whether that is in kind donation or it is in cash, they make sure that their employees are passionate to build the community and make a meaningful impact. So earlier they had the spirit to serve, or spirit to preserve the community. They had these programs back in the day when I was serving, but right now it's Nurture Our World. And also one another thing which is always on the lips of all HR senior executives is that how we can combat unconscious bias. uh, so Google has come up with a great program where they were able to educate their people, that what does it mean when we have deep rooted and deeply held perceptions, and how to identify our own perceptions, and then how to kind of educate them so that when they get to see those perceptions getting in the way, or getting to a point where that bias is very very apparent and very explicit. So what they do is they spot it, and they have trained their employees where they simply step in and intervene so that they are making lives of their co-workers very very positive, and it's not impacting them. And so the whole idea that they are doing is to tackle the prejudice, which is a bigger problem of the world. People had either they talk about it, hardly talk about it, or they don't talk about it, but those biases are there. So I feel that in our capacity as HR professionals, if we are able, given that we have these gender disparities, we have racial disparities, if they are able to do their part, not only just HR departments, but obviously organizations also definitely have a role to play. um, the governments also, they also have a role to play, and so everybody has obviously a shared responsibility to make sure that we combat the unconscious, subconscious, or whatever biases we have, they are prevalent over there. And so the more we are able to tackle them or educate our people, the more it's going to impact lives of people. It's going to change the world. It's going to make difference to organizations how they operate. And around that, I'll also share that since I'm working with S&P Global, we have started creating a very safe spot to our people where they can have courageous conversations very very openly, those conversations that are very tough in nature, that people had never thought about, in terms of what I felt, or what a particular community feels when somebody says this or that. And all of this happened after the incident of George Floyd, but that has led to some very positive change within our company, where people are very open about having those conversations. So I think this is definitely an area for all HR folks to add value, and that is going to make the life beautiful for everyone around us.
Yes, thank you so much. It is so important to, come back and say we are all equal. So let's figure out what's holding us back. Let's figure out what's separating us. Because through open communication, like you said, when we start talking to people about what is bothering us or how we can become a better person, then that's when we find solutions. So thank you so much, Samia, for sharing this. And also, speaking of other, large companies, I know you mentioned Google, but I also read an article about Microsoft trying to do a 4-hour day, work day. And it was very successful study. I believe they ran it in China or some other place. What do you think? How many hours should a person work in order to live a happy and fulfilled life?
Wonderful question. So companies are reframing and they are changing their policies where flex arrangement framework is very, very vital to some of the organizations, and S&P Global is again one of them, where we would want to enrich lives of our people. So I'm not just going to talk about S&P Global, but yeah, to answer your particular question, having a fulfilling life is super important. It's very vital, because as long as the work-life balance shouldn't be, there is no work-life balance. It should be all integrated. As long as people feel fun and joy in the work that they do, as long as when they are with their families, they are full-time, mentally present with their families, that is what truly matters. So definitely companies should change, and the new normal, I believe, is going to be a representation where, where these companies are thinking about creating new policies around it and giving that flex arrangement, and that works for so many people. I mean, that works for females as well as our male colleagues too, to be inclusive, since we are talking about, everyone, so let's be very inclusive. So that's something where, people can plan their days, they can spend time with their families, they can take care of elderly people and children if they have to. So I think this is all very important. So even if companies did not think about it before, this is the perfect time to think about it right now.
Yes, thank you very much. And I have one more question for you. So today we can see that we live in this consumerist format of society, and we see that all of our problems come from that. You, Samia, as a citizen of this country, as a human like all of us, what would you say from that perspective? How can we change this vector? How can we go from the consumerist format to the creative society? What can we do?
Well, I will say that, first off, we should have, our goals. We should have our very explicit, very clear goals. What do we want to do year over year? What do we want to achieve? And those goals have to be aggressive the way just every year, the way we get more older, we have more ability and resilience and perseverance to deal with problems. So our goals should get aggressive. And then what's important is that we should stay committed to those goals, and regardless of what life throws at us. So we should also believe in ourselves that we can definitely make a bigger influence to others. And inspiring real change in the community is what should never be underestimated. Um, and at least making one commitment, that how or what am I going to do. So even like I said, this, combating bias, this is very important. We have this racial disparity right now. It's a very hot topic everywhere. So even if somebody commits on to it, I definitely am going to commit. While I did not commit it this year, I had some another goal, but still I was able to do not a lot. I'll be very honest, not a lot, but at least I've done something about it when I was also part of educating our employees. But obviously that's going to be my number one goal for 2021. So if we all commit and then we stick to those goals, and at the end of the year, if we evaluate and be true to ourselves, that what have I done, or even if I haven't done something about it, let's do something about it. I think that's very, very important for everyone, to have a healthy, to have a peaceful life. So yeah, that's all I can say. And also never underestimating our own ability of making influence. Some people feel that they don't have that capacity, or maybe they can't create that influence. I think God has gifted every human being with surprising talents, and if everybody puts in those strengths, this is going to be an amazing place. It already is. We just have to preserve this world for others.
Yes, thank you so much, Sami. And the last question I have is, would you like to live in a creative society?
Of course I will. I would love to.
That's awesome. So let me then ask you to nominate another person to be on our program, that we can continue to have this type of open conversations and communications with everybody around the globe, so we can make this a reality as soon as possible. Who is that person and why?
It's such a difficult question because I have so many names in my mind, but I'll try to be, I'll try to do justice to your question if you only need one name. But still, I'm more than happy to give you more names. So the one that came to my mind is Tamara Vasquez, who is heading our diversity and inclusion department and reporting into our chief executive officer. I've seen her passion. She wants to do a lot on so many different fronts. She has a lot of energy that she brings to the table. I really love the way, she tries to be inclusive and being mindful that what is going to work for every society. I really love all of that. Like, honestly, I can try, but the spirit that I've seen in her, that is simply awesome and fabulous, which I have never seen in anyone else.
Awesome. Yeah,
So yeah,
we're looking forward to showcase her talents and spirit on our
sure.
program. So we will reach out to her. Thank you so much, Samia. And before we go, is there something we forgot to ask you? Or is there something you would like to wish to our audience tonight?
All I will say is that you all are awesome, but at the same time, your awesomeness should be seen by others, and it should do some magic to the lives of others as well.
Thank you very much, Samia. And to remind our viewers, today with us, we had Samia Qamar, who is joining us all the way from Pakistan, who is a global HR director and strategic advisor to executive for talent management. And also to remind our viewers, if you would like to learn more about the project Creative Society, you can visit AllatraUnites.com. You can hit the red join us button. You can sign up and you'll get newsletters. You can also join us as volunteers, as all of us are volunteers. And if you would like to translate the site to other languages that are not seen on the site right now, you can join us as well. We would love for you to do that. And otherwise, please share this video with 2 hashtags, hashtag Creative Society and hashtag AllatraUnites. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Take care. Lovely talking to you both. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.